When people can feel that peace, that equanimity, that light of kindness, patience, and all of the 8 heart virtues that we have been focusing on, when they can feel that internally and they can feel at peace within themselves, then that energy builds on a planetary level and then helps to co-create the new solar civilization. The Buddhas come with their diamond light and the atmosphere of the earth in answer to my call and our prayers and songs and this meditation. And they are performing an alchemy whereby a new grid surrounds the earth. And this grid is in the form of a sacred geometric form of crystalline light. And each of the retreats of the Ascended Masters in the etheric octave is charged with great divine energy. You can imagine that with all of the souls that are passing and the war in Ukraine and Russia, all those who passed in the Middle East, that the angels and the escort Ascended Masters have been extremely busy helping these souls in that transition from the earth to the next level that they have gone to. And whenever there is a war, there's like a rent in the astral plane, and unfortunately a fair amount of that negative energy as an astral soup can become discharged into our world that continues the pain, the suffering, the anguish, the insanity, and the mass entities of war and violence and killing and maiming have a field day. So during this session tonight, all of that was dealt with by the angels that we invoked, the masters whom we invoked, Ganesh. And this is a planetary cleansing, a planetary exorcism of types of a sort, whereby millions of dark energies and forces and beings that ensoul that have been taken, and even a few have returned to the light, because they're always given the opportunity to go to the light. Just a very few who are caught in this web of deceit and deception by other fallen angels of a higher but in a sense lower energy. In other words, they had greater attainment originally, but they have misused that light. So part of the work tonight has been to perform this planetary clearance, and it's like we get a fresh new planet with this beautiful sacred geometric form, like a cosmic dodecahedron around the earth, with, I see, facets that are like cubes, some that are more pyramidal in nature, and they're all integrated in such a beautiful way that this divine structure is like a higher etheric energy field that can actually also prevent greater war in the coming months and years. Many Christians and many of us have been praying to prevent war, yet just as important as calling for the prevention of war or for planetary peace is actually doing this higher ethereal, superpowered emanation and visualization combined and heart streaming to lock this divine matrix into place around the world to prevent even other astral forces from other worlds to come, the negative interplanetary grays and other dark ones that are trying to manipulate mankind. And even during this service, some of the negative UFOs have been removed from the earth by these Buddhas that we invoked, and no longer ever able to come back based on their misdeeds, and some that have been involved in a type of human trafficking that actually they abduct people from earth and perform experiments against their will, etc. So this battle of Armageddon is continuing. We are in the sacred space of the Buddhas now, tonight, so that we can feel what they do and how they utilize light in a non-dual way to simply broadcast a tremendous radiation. And if you could see their chakras are just almost like planets, each one almost like a galaxy or a solar system, with the amount of light energy that they wield in their beings. And you can do this too, through your own belief, acceptance, your divine imagination, your dedication toward true divine spirituality, where you allow your vessel, your chakras, your light field, your biofield to be used by great beings of light, the ones that we've called upon. And in this CS, 98 that we gave earlier, or whatever the number is, it's a very powerful call because we invoke all those great beings of light. There's a calming effect now by the mothers of heaven, in effect the brides of the Buddhas, but they're female Buddhas, to calm the energies and to bring this beautiful comfort flame of the Mother Buddhas, the all mothers of heaven, into play for an effect that is very, very dynamic and powerful, yet very mystical, and using what they call the night side energies of the Divine Mother to calm humanity and to bring true grace and spiritual peace to the hearts of all. When people can feel that peace, that equanimity, that light of kindness, patience, and all of the 8 heart virtues that we have been focusing on, when they can feel that internally, and they can feel resolved within themselves, at peace within themselves, then that energy builds on a planetary level and then helps to co-create the new solar civilization. I see the Master Omraam Mikhail Ivanhoff kind of above the earth, let's say at the North Pole, Lanello at the South Pole, and there's a harmonization of their causal bodies, and Jesus in the east and Kuthumi in the west. Normally it would seem to be the opposite, but that's what I'm seeing. And these 4 great masters holding this grid through their God consciousness in such a dynamic that it will be sustained as long as we can also support it and sustain it by visualization, calling it forth again and again, and then feeling the light of that grid moving through us every moment of or as much of during the day as you can. It's like a part of you is engaged in this. Even if you're doing other outer work or you're engaged in activities, your soul and your higher self and your higher bodies is actively engaged in holding this new divine grid of light for planetary resolution and for the Prince of Peace, Jesus, the living Christ, to reign in the hearts of all mankind. And I see Jesus working with those of the Islamic faith who are open to him as more than just a prophet. He is the true representative of God for the earth, for both East and West. And he holds the keys to life itself as a Messiah. And it's about time that those of the Islamic faith recognize the full divine essence of Jesus, Isa, Yeshua, as this mighty being of the priesthood of Melchizedek, who cares so much for every life stream on earth, and who is truly a savior of the earth and of the evolutions of earth for those who are willing to invite him into their hearts and invite the energy of the living Christ consciousness that he wields to be a part of who they are and to inspire them to live in accord with divine laws. Yes, the Ten Commandments, but much more than that, to live the new commandment, which is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, strength, and soul, and your neighbor as your higher self. So as we continue to visualize and accept this cosmic grid, crystalline grid of light, it supports what the Divine Director also has done for many, many decades and probably hundreds of years, in holding this other planetary grid and his causal body as the Manu of the seventh age, and what all the other Manus and their twin flames have done for quite some time, for eons of time. So we are supporting the Manus as well as supporting Jesus, Kuthumi, the Master Omram, and Lanello. Lanello is, in effect, as I see it in this visualization, like unto the fourth world teacher. So I'm not saying officially he is in that office yet. In this matrix that I'm seeing, Lanello at the South Pole, he is in effect holding the same energy with that great attainment that he has to help in this transition from Pisces to Aquarius. He was a very key figure in the 20th century, and of course his other lifetimes before that. I see now in the very center of the earth the Buddha of the ruby ray, blazing a new radiance of that ruby fire. You can feel it. You should be able to feel what I just shared, what I'm seeing, right in your chakras, right in your heart. He's blazing a new ruby energy that is so powerful and dynamic that when you tap into that and utilize it as part of this visualization also, it supports everything that all these other Buddhas are doing and the Divine Mothers or the Shaktis of the Buddhas. This is a very powerful way to commune with Source, with God, and all the co-creators of heaven, and their infinite capacity to bring to earth the solution to every problem, every issue, everything that requires addressing, dealing with, transmuting, and then having that beautiful resolution. Every time that this song that we just played, to the Buddha of the Diamond Crystal Light, is played, this grid will be reinvoked or reestablished. So if you would like to engage in this alchemy for the duration of your life, play this song every day or as often as you choose, and take the time to, instead of just singing it, only visualizing this grid as a very powerful matrix. And you can be right in the center of it, just like the Buddha of the ruby ray is in the center of the earth. So you are also with him and within the center of this divine matrix and this cosmic super dodecahedron sacred geometric form. Now we already have the scroll as the heart form of this year. I'd like to play that video that David Kyle did, and we'll see that. Yet that thought form or heart form is like within now this grid. It's around that heart form, this grid exists as a very powerful reality that we can continue to utilize on behalf of all the Buddhas and Divine Mothers, the Bodhisattvas, and all the masters whose names we've named and will continue to pray to. So we'll play that as soon as you have it ready, Boyd. I, your Gautama, come, and now we see the unfolding of a golden scroll of light. And as it continues to unfold, we see aspects of the golden age of Aquarius coming into focus, coming into being, as the destiny of Earth is fulfilled through devotees of light, of all spiritual persuasions, and the brooding presence of the Divine Mother and her majestic spirit is etched within the souls of all, and even the animal kingdom responds. The elementals smile, and all the nature spirits gather in various places to give praise to this new energy of oneness aborning within planet Earth. As the scroll continues to unfold, you see long-lost friends reconnecting, families healed, the child once again honored, both within the womb and within every family, as the future of life. And so the nurturing aspect of education again comes to the fore, so that every child is indeed served as a wonderful spirit who, being the future of Earth, is inculcated with all the essential elements of light, life, and love to learn all the essentials in order that peace may reign upon earth for all.